Exactly. Who here has driven or been inside a Volvo?
Кој од присутните бил некогаш во Volvo? Кој тука од вас бил случај и работел со проекти за развој на вештини? И сега едно прашање мекатроника. Колку делови има во камион? Дали некој знае? 4000? Не знам кој е точниот одговор на тоа прашање. Само сакав да видам колку знаете од овие работи. Кој од присутните знае во колку земји или во колку училишта овој проект ќе се реализира? 3. Кренете рака ако знаете. Колку? 3. Добро. Ако не знаевте, не се секирате, тука сме за да научиме повеќе за овој проект од нашите експерти говорници, но пред да продолжиме понатаму, сакам да посакам добре дојде на сите вас. Имаме учесници кои ни се приклучуваат и онлайн од различни земји. И овој прв настан е резултат на соработката помеѓу Volvo Group, Helvetas и Шведска, представена преку Sida.
The logo there. And I am Cesar Robles. I'm from Helvetas and I will be your host today, linking between the speakers. But before we continue, if you like to use social media or you like to post about what is this event, what we're kicking off, please use the hashtag navigating the road ahead, hashtag navigating the road ahead. If you pop across so that we can trace it and have better visibility, because it's worth that we share this with people outside. If you have any questions during the speeches or you're wondering something that is not clear, please reserve the questions for the end. We will have a Q&A part towards the closing of the session. And very important, emergency exit is not that way. It's behind me to the right. It's always good to know this detail. As I said, we are very honored to have a set of expert speakers who will introduce us to our project. And to start, I would like to give the floor to Mihailo Vesovic, Deputy President of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Serbia, for a short introduction.
Good morning. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to welcome our Sweden colleagues and Sida and Helvetas as a project manager. And I would like to say hello to everybody who's online, especially the colleagues in North Macedonia and Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's a regional project. That's why we are all together. To be honest, I believe I never drove inside of the truck. You know, that's my minus. Maybe during the military, you know, some 30 years ago. But I believe we just mentioned and talked about what is the future for the younger generation. Why are they leaving? How many of them are staying here? Do they learn the technology abroad, or they are bringing the technology or knowledge in Serbia? So I believe that this kind of project is working on the ground, you know, with the young people, with a diverse group of people, with also gender. We are talking about also the gender equality, because if you are talking about mechanics or drivers of the trucks, you always kind of have a man envisioned, especially here in the region. But it's also changing, and one of the things that this project should achieve is also that. But nevertheless, automotive industry and transition toward the e-mobility and everything that brings, it's kind of changing the whole setup of the engineering, maintenance, and everything that follows automotive industry. Most important message is that first changes and the biggest changes actually always in industry come from the automotive industry, from the truck industry. And the e-mobility changes and all the infrastructure changes are going to be brought by the automotive industry. And that's why Volvo is such an important partner in this project. And also this project is also going to be one of the first bringing this kind of knowledge to the model of, vocational training, which is kind of important because we as a chamber promote dual education, vocational training. We need to have skilled workers. We need them to know the technology that is just coming in, and hybrid and electric vehicles is the future. The green transition is ahead of us. Hopefully, Serbia will play the important role, especially in the technology in this green transition. But nevertheless, the trucks would be driven. The export is rising from Serbia and the whole region. More and more, there are more and more needs, not just for the drivers, but also for the maintenance, local maintenance. I think that we are hitting the right spot. And thanks to everybody who made this project, formulated it, and they're going to implement it. It's going to last for some 2 or 3 years. Am I right? That's how we're going to learn a little bit more about each other, meet each other, especially in the region, because this is the joint problem of the whole region, because more and more we are looking as Western Balkan as the overall region. Thank you, everyone who is getting and hi to everyone online. Thank you.
Okay, I will switch to this. We like this. No, this is okay. Great. Now that we solved this little technical hiccup, I would like to hand over to Maria Melving, Head of Unit on the Western Balkans and Turkey at Sida, to give us a short introduction into the project and your take. Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and thank you for the inspiring introduction words that you said, because I think this is just about what everything that we would do now. So my name is Maria Melving, and I'm heading the unit for Western Balkans and Turkey at Sida, the Swedish Development Cooperation Agency. And my unit is based in Sweden. And we are sort of managing the regional collaboration with the Western Balkans, while the bilateral collaboration is actually handled by each of the embassies in the region. RECONOMY is one of the flagship programs that Sida support. It's part of the Swedish Reform Cooperation for the Western Balkans. And I'm really happy to be part of this launching event and embarking on this exciting journey together with Helvetas, and also the Volvo Group. It's a good collaboration, and we have great prosperities that we could expect. We believe that this partnership has a great potential in addressing critical skills gap, and also especially then in heavily duty and transport industries. And we do that by providing vocational education and training. It's a special, as you mentioned, with a special focus on women and youth. This project has then the potential to enhance employability, giving people hope and looking into the future in this region. And also doing this in these key sectors also contribute to greater gender equality and social inclusion which are values that are important to Swedish reform cooperation. Finally, this project represents a forward-thinking approach to vocational education, and that aligns with Swedish commitments on to sustainability and innovation. So, with these short words, I would like to hand over, I think maybe you should do, to my dear colleague at the Swedish Embassy. Thank you. Thank you, Maria. My name is Ann-Charlotte Malm, and I'm heading the Development Cooperation section at the Swedish Embassy here in Belgrade. And we at the Embassy are really happy to be part of this project. And I personally is very, very thrilled to be here today, because I was actually working with RECONOMY before I joined the Embassy here, and I was also part of the startup of this project. So I'm really excited that it has come so far, and really nice to see Johan here also, who was the start of this discussion. And we are happy that Serbia was chosen among 3 countries, with North Macedonia and also Bosnia and Herzegovina for this project. And maybe it can be expanded later, who knows? This initiative is also very much in line with the Swedish government's reform agenda for development cooperation, where development cooperation is creating the country to create and to increase prosperity through trade and economic development. So we believe that it is important to give women and young people the skills they need to succeed in this changing market. And this helps the region to grow and develop sustainably. And this regional public-private development project also reinforces the bilateral cooperation that we have between Serbia and Sweden. So by introducing training, modern training that incorporates environmentally sustainable technologies and responding to evolving demands in the market, we are equipping the next generation with the tools they need to succeed. Additionally, by supporting the local schools, industry associations and private sector partnerships here in Serbia, as well as in North Macedonia and Bosnia and Herzegovina, the groundwork for a stronger, more resilient industry that can drive job creation and economic prosperity, particularly for young people and for women, is being laid. And I look very much forward to interesting discussions and to following this project. Thank you.
Mrs. Malm for highlighting Sweden's commitment to empowering women and youth in the region. With this, I would like to give the floor to Johan Reimann, Director of Corporate Responsibility at Volvo Group. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Johan Reimann, and I'm head of social impact for the Volvo Group. So I'm very happy to stand here today representing the Volvo Group for the launch of this project together with Sida and Helvetas. It has been quite a journey, but as we said here before, not as an extended journey as what we are used to in our previous projects. So that is something we are very happy about, that we have had decent speed in the execution, but with kept quality. That is what we have said, right, Lolo? Good. This is not our first PPDP for the Volvo Group. We started actually our first project over 10 years ago in Ethiopia. And since then, we have been part in 6 more projects in 3 different countries, collaborating with both governmental agencies, NGOs, United Nations to contribute to social development and job creation. We firmly believe that public and private actors must collaborate to tackle challenges such as skills gap and youth unemployment. Through our existing PPDPs, those 6, we have actually managed to produce over 8,000 graduates to date, with an employment rate of 80%, with 10% female students. And I don't think we should forget that, because in these types of projects, we also have a role to play in inserting more females into the automotive industry and the transport industry. And it's something that I believe is very, very important, and where we can really be a part in driving that change. And I really don't think that we should set our goals any lower for this project when it comes to employability and female participation. One of the most important aspects of this project is the impact on youth. Youth unemployment is, of course, a major challenge in many countries, but also in this region, I know. So with this program, we are creating opportunities for young people to gain the necessary skills to step into the job market. We should see this as an investment, a social investment for the future, for the individual, for the society, but also for the industry. And with this, I would like to extend my thanks to Sida for inviting us onto this journey, and for Helvetas, Paolo, and your team for guiding us so far with a firm hand, but a very good pace, as I said before. And I'm really looking forward to the onboard journey. Thank you.
Very inspiring, Mr. Ryman. Thank you so much for this input and for showing the commitment of Volvo towards sustainability and vocational training in the region. With this, I would like to invite Ms. Dragana Kric, Managing Director at Volvo Group Trucks Adriatic South.
Thank you for the nice introduction. My name is Dragana Krstic, and I'm Managing Director for Volvo Trucks in the Adriatic South countries. That is actually the region of Western Balkan, that contains 5 countries: Serbia, Bosnia, Macedonia, Albania, and Montenegro. And we are doing business in markets of Western Balkan for more than 2 decades, 26 years in Serbia, 25 in Macedonia, and almost 20 in Bosnia and Herzegovina. And we have established already very good and successful cooperation with vocational schools in many locations, in Stara Pazova, in Novi Sad, in Niš, in Serbia. And we are trying to implement a similar way of cooperation and doing that also in Bosnia and Herzegovina and in Macedonia. And this project is actually another level of cooperation with the vocational schools that we are proud to participate with. Generally, Volvo Group has a vision that we are driving prosperity in everything what we do, with a special accent on sustainability and sustainable development. And by that, we are proud to participate in this project, which has the aim to create educational programs and profiles for our young people that is in line with innovations and new technologies that are implemented in the automotive industry. products in automotive industry are more and more sophisticated, and by that we need to have employees and employments for the youth that are skilled with the special competencies, new competencies that new technology is driving. Technology is very much advanced today, and let's say, our employments and possibilities for employees are similar and the same, actually, and the same attractiveness for the female and the male. Very much is in focus safety and ergonomy in our workshops and in our working environments. Tools and equipment are enabling the same possibility for females and males on different positions. So by that, actually, our auto industry is very much male, and that is some kind of bias everywhere. But I wanted to emphasize on this and to use this opportunity to emphasize that there is no difference, actually. Everything has developed so much, and the working environment is changing, and everyone is having equal chance to give their contribution to the development, regardless of the gender. So one of the main mottos in Volvo Group is that we are shaping the world that we want to live in, and by that, that is actually our participation in this project is our contribution to that. That we want to make the working environment in Serbia and the educational profiles for youth and young generations that are equal possibility for all of them. So by that, this is what I wanted to say now, and we are proud to participate and contribute to this project, and we hope that it will be very well anticipated in all the societies, both in Serbia and Macedonia and in Bosnia, where we want to do this project. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Rich. Sorry. Reminding us it's very important to invest in young people, modernizing education, and I really like the motto, shaping the world we want to live in. It's our mind in the future. That's very, very important. With this, I would like to introduce you to our regional director of Helvetas, Matthias Hech.
Distinguished guests, partners from Volvo Group, representatives from Sida, dear partners and colleagues, Minister. When the Helvetas team started discussions with Volvo on a potential partnership, a question crossed my mind. What actually is the meaning of Volvo? So I looked it up on their website. There it says the meaning of the word Volvo comes from the Latin verb to roll, which is volvere. When that verb is conjugated into the first person singular, you get Volvo, which means I roll. So at the occasion of this launch event, I say Volvimus, let's roll. By the way, only after 2 years working with Sida, we found out that Helvetas is similar to the Swedish word Helvete, which means hell. Well, I'm not sure what to say actually now, whether it's going to be a hell of a ride, but let's see. I wish us the best for this partnership. But jokes aside, I cannot overstate the importance of the collaboration between Helvetas, Volvo Group, Sida, and our national partners, including the Chambers of Commerce, Ministry of Education within the framework of RECONOMY. Today we celebrate the launch of a very exciting new project designed to address critical skills gap in the heavy-duty and transport industries across Bosnia and Herzegovina, North Macedonia, and Serbia. This initiative is focused on providing specialized vocational education and training to young people, equipping them with the skills needed to become proficient truck mechanics. In response to the rapidly changing market conditions, The program also integrates modern, environmentally sustainable technologies. Importantly, this project also promotes gender equality and social inclusion, opening up job opportunities for women and youth across the region. It aligns seamlessly also with Helvetas' mission to foster inclusive and green economic transition. It would not be possible without the valuable partnership we built with the Volvo Group and Sida and our national partners in Serbia, North Macedonia, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Together, we are not only strengthening our national economies, but also enhancing opportunities for marginalized communities, driving forward inclusive and green economic development in the region. I want to express my deepest gratitude to your unwavering support and dedication in bringing this vision to life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthias, especially for highlighting how we're driving inclusive and green economy transition, not just development, the transition, and for the etymology lesson on Volvo. Now we all know. With this, I would like to give the floor to the head of the Vocational Education Training Unit at the Ministry of Education in Serbia, Mr. Radovan Živković.
Dragi kolege, za razliku od prethodnih govornika, evo ja ću govoriti.
Colleagues, I will speak in Serbian. So, in the name of the Ministry of Education of the Republic of Serbia, I would like to greet all the attendees here of our meeting, which is about a new phase of the development of vocational education, the Ministry of Education, together with numerous partners in Serbia who work in the field of vocational education, are ready for a cooperation with these marvelous partners who represented themselves, and in their work they have experience. We and our partners in Serbia, foremost the Agency of Qualification, the Institute of Education, we are ready to be a part of this team. We greet the initiative. From the experience that I have in the field of the trucks, so to say, there were not so many initiatives, so this project from that side of grown in education and all the projects, we have to know what is necessary to do, but it's very also necessary to know how. So I think that until now this coalition has the answer of the first question, what is to be done, and the answer to the other question, how to do it effectively and with a quality. We have to do it together, and those are the steps that we have to do. In this approach, we agree and we share the same meaning, and I want to say again that my ministry and our specialists working in these fields will be active in all of the activities, and I'm convinced that they will contribute, that the models that we create and the quality will be sustainable and useful to all the partners, foremost the young and the women who are also important for us here, and the perspective in this field of the project are also necessary to be done. Thank you for the invitation again, and that the Ministry of Education is seen as an important partner, and I hope soon in next events we will operationalize these aims. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zivkovic. It's great to see the commitment of the ministry to improving the vocational education training to better prepare the youth for this evolving field of job opportunities. I would like now to introduce the project manager of RECONOMY, Paulo Rodriguez, who will introduce the project in a bit more detail. Paulo, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Cesar. Thank you all. Welcome also from my side. Cesar asked me to grab the microphone and walk a bit around the room so that you can move your necks and you're not always looking at the same direction. Cesar is also quite known for promoting karaoke events, but I promise I will not sing for you this morning unless you ask really, really hard. So I wanted to introduce you today to the project and to have a little bit more of an overview of what we're doing exactly with this project. The project has a long title, Navigating the Road Ahead, Creating Shared Values Through Skills Development in Western Balkans. You've heard some bits and pieces about what we're trying to do. I will try with this presentation to make it a little bit more concrete. I have two key parts of the presentation. I want to tell you what is RECONOMY, what are we doing, not just with this project, but in the overall portfolio. I'll ask for 2-3 minutes of your attention to that, and then I will focus on presenting to you specifically this project and what we're trying to achieve with this project. So starting with RECONOMY, some people call it a sort of an octopus. We're promoting regional inclusive economic development across 2 regions in 11 countries in the Western Balkans and in Eastern Partnership. The program of RECONOMY is implemented by my organization, Helvetas Swiss Corporation, a Swiss-based international NGO with almost 75 years of experience in promoting these kinds of projects and programs. And RECONOMY is funded by Sida, the Swedish International Development and Cooperation Agency. Now, when we look at the program, what makes this program special in a way is our objectives. Across these 2 regions, across these 11 countries, we work always with one single objective. And that single objective is to provide or to support the provision of economic opportunities for youth and for women. These economic opportunities should be generated by the market sustainably, inclusively, and should also be promoting what we've heard this morning many times, the green transition. So how do we work in RECONOMY? We work through a number of we work in a number of different sectors across these 11 countries. But as I said, the objective is always the same: economic opportunities for women and youth, and we work through 3 basic work streams. These are, we like to call them, along the labor market continuum. And the idea is that we're holistic in our approach to job creation. We start with the work stream that it's in the middle, in the screen behind me, competences. We support initiatives to skill youth, to strengthen the capacity of youth to access the labor market in better conditions. But that's not enough. Many development projects focus solely on this part, and then it becomes short in a way. So we try to work also with the private sector, supporting the development of private sector so that these qualified youth and women that are qualified can enter the labor market in better conditions. As a last point, but not least important, we work on what we call the influences sphere. And this entails many times working with business associations, with chambers of commerce, with the intent of lobbying, of advocating for better framework conditions for the development of the different sectors where we operate. I'm going to say a few more words about our areas of work in the Western Balkans. We work with 5 projects in the Western Balkans that correspond to more or less 5 different sectors. The first project is on digitalization of different sectors. Here we work actually in 3 sectors of activity. We work in agriculture, we work in tourism, and we work on the sector of ICT, BPO, information technology, with the same intent that I mentioned before. So the intent is to provide economic opportunities for women and youth. And through this project, we work on how digitalization can provide economic opportunities for women and youth. So we work on many different initiatives across these 3 areas that I mentioned before. We skill youth on topics of digitalization. We support businesses in digitizing and digitalizing their businesses. And with that, our goal is to create economic development and sustainable greener jobs for youth. We also work on labor market policy. That is a specific program we have with public employment services in the Western Balkans, where we strengthen the capacity of these services to provide more effective intermediation between the skilled labor and the job market. So providing better services means that youth can access better jobs. We work on the construction sector, on energy efficient construction, supporting our many different partners in strengthening the capacity of the labor force in topics such as building certification, energy certification, working with the private sector also to increase the information about this kind of sector of activity and how to develop more efficient and more sustainable buildings, and with that also grow the construction market. We're working on the waste management and circular economy sector in the 4th project, Empowering Disadvantaged to Green and Digital. We have a very interesting project going on also here with the Chambers of Commerce in Serbia and other Chambers of Commerce, with the intent of providing information to the market about circular economy practices. We have also a very interesting pilot in North Macedonia, specifically with Roma communities, strengthening the entrepreneurial capacity of this community to empower themselves and to present themselves also in a different light as the entrepreneurs that they many times are. The 5th project that we have in the Western Balkans is the reason why we're here today, Navigating the Road Ahead, the joint public-private development partnership we have with the Volvo Group, with Sida. And I'm going to tell you a bit about this project. So starting with the starting point, I guess it's always a good place to start. We realized 3 key things when we started this journey with Volvo, with Sida, that and this is a crucial starting point for us. We realized, we did a market systems analysis, we talked with many people in the sector, and we realized that there is unmet demand for skilled labor in the market. So there are a lot of private sector companies that need mechatronics professionals and have a difficult time in finding these professionals in the market. We went a bit deeper and we realized the second thing, that schools lack the adequate curricula and the capacity to develop this curricula on their own as well, to skill this youth so that the market could have the supply of labor that it needs. The third point is that we talked also with the students, we talked with youth, and we realized that for many of them, the sector is not attractive. And it's not attractive because they don't perceive as a potential employer for them going forward. And that was, we believe that these 3 points make it very interesting for a development project, because we feel that with the right incentives and the right pushes in the right place, there's enough motivation in the system to sustainably bring people to new and better jobs. You might ask me, so, okay, but what will you do? How do you move from here? And there's a few things that we want to do. We want to support on enhancing the economic opportunities for youth and women. Okay, how do we do that? we work with schools, we work with the people that know how to do this, that know how to capacitate youth, how to skill youth, and we try to promote and support these institutions so that they can create better conditions for youth to be skilled. We try to address the gap in this industry by bringing schools closer with private sector. That is, I think, one of the key elements for the success of this project is that Mr. Mihailo Vasovic said in the beginning in his speech that it is very important to what this project is doing until 2026 when we end. But I would say that more important is what stays after this project ends. And there, what I would really like to see is that this gap between schools and the private sector and the companies is shortened, and there is a better collaboration between schools and private sector, because change is constant. We see an electric vehicle not in the picture anymore, but it's coming, and the only certainty is that the change is going to happen faster. So if we don't bring these mechanisms for the schools to be more adaptive and be more in tune with the need of the private sector, we will have a hard time in bridging this skills gap that we see today. Third point, where I think we can be very, very effective with this project is also to ensure gender equality and social inclusion. So it's not enough to just create jobs. These jobs should go to the people that need them the most. We've heard this morning also about how this industry is very much male dominated, and most of the jobs are created for men. And it's important that we also promote jobs that can be taken up by any gender going forward. So our approach, we will, there's a lot of different blocks in this picture, but we can try and cluster them in different ways. So the first three on the left, it's about this, what I was saying, really trying to bring the private sector closer to schools. We are fortunate enough to count on the support of the Volvo Group and Volvo Group partners, Evocon, Jasmine in Bosnia. And this is very important for us to have this technical support and to bring this technical support also to the schools, with the intent of block number 2, fostering better professional development in the schools, better capacity of teachers to continuously provide better programs to young people and women. Now, with better teachers, the intention is that we increase professional experience of students, and that these trainings have a very strong practical component, so that when students get to the job market, they are ready to hit the ground running and to provide value to the industry. We also need to work, this is the part on the supply side of this labor market continuum that I mentioned before. We also need to work with the industry. It's very important that we work with the employers, that we understand the problems that employers are facing, and that we also talk with associations in this sector, with the Chamber of Commerce, to facilitate information and to share information and support businesses in also becoming greener. It's all our responsibility to provide better businesses going forward, also for the sake of our children and the ones that come after us to this world. It is very important that when we talk about private sector involvement, better private sector initiatives, that we foster this better collaboration between industries and schools. This better collaboration should stay within the system. We shouldn't need in the future, hopefully, when we're looking 2030 and beyond, we shouldn't need development programs to come and foster better connection between schools and the private sector. Ideally, schools and private sector will work together, will have working groups where they share information and that they sustainably develop their initiatives. Last, but by no means least, we also think we need to do a lot of work in this project when it comes to information to the target group, to youth, to women, and not just to the individuals, but also to their families, to their parents. There's a lot of work that needs to be done when it comes to sensitizing people about the opportunities in this sector. So that's something where we want to pay a lot of attention. We want to strengthen the school's capacities to also do this work so that we can sustainably guarantee an inflow of new people and new students into this area as an attractive area that can provide interesting economic opportunities to young people and women. I've been talking a lot, but I just want to leave you with one last point, which I think is potentially the most important when it comes to what we're trying to do with guaranteeing the sustainability of the things that we're trying to promote, and that is about added value. So these things will only be sustainable if they bring added value to the different people that participate in this program. So we want with this program to share or to highlight the added value to schools. Schools need to feel that by providing better curricula, by working closer with the private sector, with the market demands, with strengthened partnerships, that they will be able to provide a better service to their audience. This project needs to bring added value also for the private sector. Volvo seems to have quite clear the added value that a project like this brings to Volvo, but it's important that we also make other actors in this system perceive this added value of closer collaboration with schools, because they will get more qualified labor that will work in their premises, that will foster better productivity, that will foster innovation. And it's very important that actors realize this added value, because only if they realize this added value, they will continue doing this after the project ends. I would say that if these two are guaranteed, if we can guarantee added values for the schools and added values for the private sector, the third one will come as a consequence, and that's the added value for youth. So if schools continuously improve their programs, if private sector improves youth with better conditions, youth will obviously benefit from it. Society will benefit from it. We will have a greener economy that is able of providing jobs to young people and economic opportunities to follow their lives with dignity, and that's what it's all about. This is pretty much what I had to show you today. I think we have some time for your questions. Don't get up just yet. I still have one thing to say. People last week heard that when you have a microphone in your hands, you should get that opportunity to ask for things, because you don't always have the opportunity of having people sitting and listening to you. So now I have my opportunity. I'm going to make a request. And the request, I have two requests actually. First request is that is maybe a round of applause in a minute when I tell you what for, but for different things. I think for our team at RECONOMY that has been tirelessly working on putting this together. Johan mentioned that we moved fast. It's true. We started our conversations late last year about potentially doing something in this space, and in 6 months we were able to do an analysis, to put the project together, to have the project approved by both Volvo and Sida. And that comes because there was a lot of commitment from all sides, from the Swedish Development Agency, from Volvo definitely, also from our team at RECONOMY. I'm looking at Emilia, I'm looking at Vidoje. We have the team now also with Jelena and Nastasia. So very happy to have you on board. And my first request would be a round of applause to all of us for what we've achieved so far. Okay, let me see if I remember what the second request was. No, I don't know. So the second request is really about thinking how you can contribute to this project. And I'm not asking this from a Helvetas perspective. I'm not asking this from a RECONOMY perspective. I'm asking this from a perspective of the youth and women that we want to create better economic conditions for. So we will try our best to promote better linkages between schools, between the private sector, but no matter what your role is, if you're working with the private sector, if you're working in a school, if you're working in the Ministry of Education,